I got it out in Alberta, and I had a Corrado at the time, and I saw an ad for a Supra. I'm like, oh, you know, I'm just gonna, for shits and giggles, message him like, hey, do you want to trade the Corrado and maybe some cash for your car? And he's like, yep, come get it on Thursday, otherwise it's getting crushed.
All right, cheers, my friend.
Cheers, mate.
Let's go for a drive.
Oh, yeah.
It's not like the seat might just not fold forward if we crash.
No! The crumple zone's your knees anyways.
There's quite a bit of room in here.
Surprisingly, yes, I love it.
All right, you guys, what's going on? This is Jared.
Hey.
You didn't see him much in our last video with Kevin's Evo and infamous Aero, but that was his shop, and yes, that Supra that you caught a glimpse of in that video, that's your Supra.
Yeah.
Obviously, here in Canada, you can't, I mean, you could daily your Supra.
I used to daily it actually when it was back to, you know, stock twin turbo and, you know, little to no horsepower. I started tearing it apart, and then, you know, I was in the shop for 2 years, and, you know, I just ended up being a project car after that.
Just building it.
Oh yeah.
Supras are actually, like, I was gonna say relatively drivable in stock form for a daily, but they're extremely dailyable.
Oh, 100%. When it was full stock, again, twin turbo, 6-speed, it was a perfect daily. Like, I drove that every single day to work, and it was even good on gas for the most part.
Yeah.
Except for my lead foot.
Yeah. yeah, it's always a driver mod that's required.
Yeah.
So what is this we're driving today? This is your real daily.
Yeah.
And real quick, it's supposed to snow tomorrow.
Yeah.
And so what are you gonna drive?
This. And then I have another winter car that's leaking oil profusely out of every bit of the engine.
Orifice. Yeah. The Delica, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so, that's what I would imagine. If you had told me, okay, I have this crazy 4-digit horsepower Supra, and the Delica in my driveway is the daily, I'd be like, oh, this guy's totally reasonable. No, we're in this. We're in this instead.
Well, because this works. Like, everyone's like, oh, you know, minis aren't the most reliable cars, and, you know, to be fair, they're relatively not. But it's been the most reliable car that I've owned almost.
What's under the hood?
Technically it's a 1275cc or a 1.3 liter like Rover Mini engine, fuel injected.
Oh, okay. What year is it?
This is a 1995 from Japan.
Of course, it's got the auto. So what is this, a 4? It's a 4-speed?
I think it's technically a 4-speed.
Okay.
Or it's a 3-speed with an overdrive.
Right.
Not 100% sure. I tried looking for a manual for years, but it's just impossible to find for a relatively good price.
Yeah.
And the parts aren't interchangeable at all either, because from the head down on a manual is different from automatic. You basically have to change out everything in the engine bay.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Whoa. Yeah, these cars, it's funny how that worked too. Like you said with the whole used car market, as soon as things started happening out of our control here over in Europe, and there's supply chain issues, COVID, wars, whatever, and then all of a sudden anyone who was buying, you know, forget just a new car, but an electric car new, and it's like, now you like our cars.
Yeah.
Now you want a piece of these fun cars that, hey, actually it turns out they're really reliable, they're very efficient still, and they're way more fun to drive.
Oh, 100%. Like, who wants to drive around? Like, don't get me wrong, I appreciate electric cars and all, but nothing beats driving down the street in an old janky JDM car and then just having the time of your life.
Yes.
I think you don't get that in an electric car. You just don't.
Yeah. It's not many people who own electric vehicles, I feel like, don't also still have a gasoline, like, backup car.
Oh, 100%.
And of course, in a car like this, the power to weight ratio depends largely on who's in your passenger seat.
And how much they had for breakfast.
Yeah. Luckily with me, neither of those things really apply today, so it doesn't really matter. Is this seat like adjustable, like
a little bit
tilt-wise? Okay.
I think so.
I don't think I'm going to. I kind of think it's funny if I just drive like this. So. Wow, this is strange. I've never driven a Mercy, but I've heard that when you step into those cars and a bunch of other Lamborghinis, that your feet are like offset, like a Countach. Here, it's kind of the same thing.
Oh yeah, like the steering wheel is kind of like towards the middle of the car.
So what is the suspension setup in these? I don't know much about these cars.
So think of a hockey puck.
Oh, this isn't going to end well.
No, that's your suspension.
Oh, it just ends there.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's basically just...
It's just a bump stop.
It's just a rubber cone. That's all it is. A rubber cone and a little tiny arm to go to wherever the suspension goes. On these newer models, there is shock absorbers.
Okay.
They're kind of there as an afterthought. And I'm like, it's automatic. I really don't mind. As much as I love driving manual, like this is my daily. I want to be able to drink my coffee.
Yeah.
I'm getting a bit old, I don't want to be shifting gears 24/7. Because again, I like to have chicken nuggets on my lap and eat.
Yeah. Yeah. But automatic dailies aren't bad.
No, but then again, I was like, well, I'm just gonna LS twin turbo swap this Mini, so it doesn't matter if it's got an automatic because it's just gonna be going into bin.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. I still can't. my brain is like not. It does not compute. For those of you watching, like, are you serious?
Oh, 100%. I want to build a death trap.
Should we head back and talk Supra?
Yeah.
I want to talk Supra.
Yeah, I like talking Supra.
All right, let's go do that.
Well, I grew up in BC all my life, a year out in Alberta, which didn't really care for, didn't work out. So I ended up coming back here, working in almost every shop in Chilliwack, and then just ended up getting sick of it and needed to work for myself. So I got the opportunity to come into this shop through a buddy of mine, and I was like, this is my chance. Either, I move out and do something completely different, or I start my own thing, and I took the latter. I got it out in Alberta, and I had a Corrado at the time, and I saw an ad for a Supra. I'm like, I'm just gonna, for shits and giggles, message him like, hey, do you want to trade the Corrado and maybe some cash for your car? And he's like, yep, come get it on Thursday, otherwise it's getting crushed. I'm like, what do you mean it's getting crushed? He's like, oh, well, it's in an impound lot. I was speeding and whatever. So he's like, give me your car, pay the impound fee, and we've got a deal. So the Corrado was like, I think it was $1,700 that I paid for it, and then the impound fee was $1,300. So I'm like, I got a Supra for $3,000. I can't complain. So I was like, awesome, I'm into a Supra now. And then they just shot up in prices. I was like, oh, well, maybe I should modify this thing a little bit. And, it ended up being like a dream car of mine. I was like, I'll build the hell out of it now. I love the front bumper, but yeah, the tires are, Weld racing wheels in the rear, and then Nitto like semi-slicks.
How many motors have you gone through?
I've gone through about 5 motors now. First motor was not built correctly. There was a lot of tolerances that in that motor that were not done correctly and to spec. And then I went through another motor that I put together, and the head gasket blew. And then I went through another motor, same thing, head gasket went. I didn't put enough time and effort into it. And then I finally got this block, and then I sent it out to Velocity Racing out in, I think it was Ontario or something. I became good friends with the owner of there, and he's like, send me a motor, I'll build it. Like, perfect, done. He's like, I've got all the parts, just, you know what, we'll make this like almost like a sponsorship deal. You know, we'll build the motor, we'll send it back to you, pay us when you can. I'm like, perfect. So that's how that bottom end went, and then I just used my race top end, put it all back together myself, and threw it in the car, and here we are today. Killed it.
It just shut off by itself?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
I probably let off the gas too quick.
No, that's fine. I'll start it up, let it cool down. Stock, they're just a good, they're almost like, you can say they're a good daily driver. They've got enough horsepower. The transmissions, like the V160 anyways, are a great handling transmission. You know, it's quite notchy, and you get a good experience out of it as you go. But it's just a good complete car. Like, it's not the lightest car, it's not really meant to go around corners the fastest, but it's just fun. There's nothing really special about it. They're a little bit overhyped. Even being an owner myself, I think they're a little bit overhyped, but they're just good cars. Like, they're well put together, they're planted, and when you start throwing power at them, that's when you start feeling, oh yeah, no, this is something special. This is insane how much power you can get out of an inline six engine. Because I've driven a lot of slower vehicles most of my life, having a car that had 550 horsepower at the time, it was insane. I'm like, how the hell do people drive this? It just hits you in the back of the head like nothing else. And then I doubled the horsepower, and it's like, this is on a completely different level. It's like, it's insane. It just hits boost, and then it just takes off, and then it doesn't let up. It just keeps on going, change gear, and you're going, 250 on an on-ramp in the span of like half of a kilometer. It's absolutely insane. Right now, I'm at about 950, 980 to the wheels. So I rounded up to 1,000 because it sounds better.
That makes for a better YouTube thumbnail.
Exactly. You need 1,000 horsepower Supra. My favorite obviously is Supras. They're just easy to work on. I know them the best. I've built quite a few of them now. Almost anything JDM is just fun to work on. They're usually pretty simple. I can take apart this car. I can rip the engine out in an hour, and it's a 10 and a 12 mil.
Yeah.
And that's about it. Whereas Subarus, on the other hand, I hate working on Subarus. They're the absolute worst. I've never had a good experience working on a Subaru. One of my biggest hurdles is I'm too nice. I don't usually turn down any jobs, and especially when it's a friend of mine. It's like, oh hey, like the other day I had a friend of mine who's like, oh, I need to do a clutch on my 4Runner. Good, let's do it. Let's bang it out in a day. It won't take up too much of my time. It's not that hard of a job. But then it's like, oh well, I have to ask my friends for money because I have a business to run. I would much rather not ask them for money because they're my friends. I'm more than happy to help out any way that I can. But friends in business, they kind of have to work together. You have to pay your bills. I love it. Like, I make my own hours. I, work on what I want to. I, take on jobs that I want to. I turn down stuff that I don't really care to do. And, ripping out a transmission by myself has not gone the greatest. I've dropped a few transmissions and whatnot, but it's sometimes you just need a hand. So that's another big hurdle of mine. The turbo is gone on this car now, so it was expected. The turbo on that thing was only rated for 25 pounds of boost, and I'm running close to 35 at high boost and whatnot. So it is a little bit hurt right now, but new turbo, change up the exhaust a little bit. I would love to do some suspension, but for now, just turbo, retune it, and then drive it. I like just enjoy it.
Break some hearts while you're at it.
Yeah, a little bit.
Ruin some Scott.
Do some highway pulls and, you know, make some supercar owners jealous of how slow their cars are. I love doing that.
Let's line it up then.
Yeah, let's go. Let's see how fast your $300,000 McLaren really is.
Yeah.
Give them a run for it money.
Yeah.